y'all hear that? You guys hear the storm? Listen to that thunder. Hold on. Wonder if I'm at risk of getting hit out here where I'm sitting. Let's see if another one happens. It's Scott here, and I'm out in the backyard after a very busy day. Found out today that my wife's, I thought she was getting in tomorrow morning, but now it's not till tomorrow, like late at night. So the bad side of that is she's not home. Good side is that I have time to clean some stuff. Come on, Thunder, do it again. You guys hear that? Too many cars. Anyway, she went gator hunting today or something. They were in a bayou down there. And I don't know if they were hunting for gators, but they saw a bunch. Maybe they were doing something else. I don't know what they were actually doing on that bayou, but whenever they go down to the swamps and stuff, they see gators, and it's always a little intense, you know? Still wild creatures, as close as we have to direct descendants of the dinosaurs, you know? Is that true? Or are birds the more dinosaur-y? Hang on, I gotta move this. It's gonna make noise, sorry. Hold on. Oh, I need my phone out. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, so you guys really enjoyed that conversation I had with my brother. That was cool. Oh, hear it? It's just rolling thunder. It's looking real dark and grungy out here, so I think I'm gonna get rained on. I'm gonna try to do this for as long as I have rain. Look at this. Where is this? The kids went to something called Ashton Gardens today. What is this? Giant dinosaurs and stuff and bugs. Oh, we gotta go there. Sorry, stay on target, Scott. So, my conversation with my brother, that was a big hit. You guys were into it. I've gotten more feedback on that than almost anything I've done in the last little while. I don't know what I am. I guess I'm a little surprised by that. I thought people would be interested in his story, but I don't know. That was surprising. People are like, dude, you gotta talk to him again, or oh my gosh, what a cool look at a thing. I've only heard you guys be goofy before. I didn't know his story or where he came from, and apparently that was a big deal. Like, I'm kind of afraid doing this episode now because I'm boring compared to that. That was awesome, right? We learned a bunch of stuff and talked about cultural weirdness and all that, and his Korean upbringing and time in the orphanage and all that business. It was all a pretty big deal. Anyway, yeah, we'll have him back. That'll be the plan, okay? Because he did have interesting stuff to say. I also think he's just a big goofball and he's funny. But there was stuff about his upbringing in the orphanage I didn't know about until we had that conversation. I still do not remember putting kimchi under my mom's headboard as a practical joke. Hear that? That's a big one. Oh, no, it's going to peter out. Come on, give me some nature. Well, anyway. So yeah, more of that coming soon. I'm going to do some similar stuff with other people in my family. I think they have interesting stories to tell. You know, the adopted ones all have very different lives as a result of their adoption, and I think that's interesting to some people. I had a really unique upbringing as a result. And I'm pretty sure in the school I was in, my 3 siblings that are adopted Korean siblings, I think all 3 of them were the only Asians in the school at the time. There may have been Like my memory is that there were nobody else, no other Asian folks, but I could be wrong. Like there was probably somebody, right? But they were definitely prominently seen anyway as like some of the only Asians anywhere near us. So that was kind of cool. I don't know. I liked growing up in a different kind of situation. I thought it was fun to talk about. It was different than everybody else. All of my friends had very different lives. I can talk, really, for real. I've been on air like all day today, so I don't even know why I'm doing this now. I'm brain dead right now. But I do want to talk to you a little bit about something I looked up and learned about the other night. We talked about Alexander the Great. Oh. I'm waiting for some more thunder here. What if I am an actual risk at getting struck here? Because I'm in the backyard and I got trees. And also strings of lights, like LED light strings that are out here. I don't know. Wish me luck, everyone. I looked up Anubis. This is the ancient Egyptian god of funerary rites. So, funeral stuff, right? Now, as I was growing up, I thought Anubis was like just the coolest name and was probably the coolest Egyptian god. And of all the mythology of the Egyptian type, I just thought, well, Anubis must be so cool. Big old dog-headed badass with a huge staff or something, whatever. And I think maybe I don't know, did I watch too much? Where would I have even gotten those ideas? Probably, what do you call it, Stargate? That came later, though, so I don't think I can blame Stargate. I don't know why I thought that. However, it's really just the god of like, hey, y'all want to have a good funeral? You want to be well taken care of in the afterlife? Yeah, I can help you with that. Just make sure you bury yourself with lots of goo and sticks and stuff and whatever, and embalm the body, with honey oil and freaking chicken wire or whatever you do. I don't know what you do there, but that was his thing. That's his thing. He oversees it, and he's got different roles in different contexts. So he's a protector of graves in the early First Dynasty. So we're talking like, if I can remember this right, 3000 or 3100 BC, I believe. I believe that's correct. Maybe it was closer to 25. I can't remember. But anyway, was also an embalmer. And by the Middle Kingdom, which was 20-something BC, 2025, 2035, something like that, he was replaced by Osiris as Lord of the Underworld. So his deal was, one of his prominent roles was anyway, he ushered souls, dead people, into the afterlife, as defined by the ancient Egyptians, right? And he did this thing that I thought was fascinating. It says he attended the weighing scale during the weighing of the heart. Okay? And this is how they determined or decided if a soul would be able to go to the realm of the dead or not. It depended on how much their heart weighed. And Anubis is mentioned all the time, but I didn't know this about him. He was described as oily black, kind of alabaster black. To them, that's a color that just wasn't cool. I mean, it is cool, but they thought it symbolized regeneration or rejuvenation or, living again. Life. The soil of the Nile River, as an example, was kind of black and kind of gross. But it meant life. It meant rejuvenation. It meant, fresh crops when the floodplains would come and all that. Floodplains, not floodplains. Floods, just floods. Oh, hear that? Anubis is restless tonight. Anyway, his brother, his name is Wepwawet. Wepwawet. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right. It was spelled, let's see, Wepwawet. Wepwawet. This is another dude. Now, I didn't know about this till I started reading about it, but he is an Egyptian god. Also has a canine dog head, right? But he's got gray or white fur. And most people, like historians, think that the two figures are actually eventually the same. Like they're not separate entities after a while. And there's even a female counterpart to Anubis called Anput. And he also had a daughter. And her name was Kebeshet. Anyway. So, the first time we ever heard about this was like 7th century BC. And what else did I learn? Oh, they call him, this also, in the Egyptian language, the very ancient stuff, the root of the name comes from the phrase, a royal child. And I copied this part out. It says, Inpu has a root in imp, which means to decay. He's also known as the first of the Westerners, Lord of the Sacred Land, he who is upon his sacred mountain, ruler of the 9 bows, or is it bows? Must be bows. The dog who swallows millions, master of secrets, he who is in the place of embalming, and foremost of divine booth. Foremost of divine booth. You think it's cool when you go to a Denny's and get a good booth that fits all 6 of you and your friends. Oh boy, no boy, howdy no. Foremost of the divine booth, that's where it's at. He also is called he who is upon his mountain, Lord of the Sacred Land, and he who is in the place of embalming. Why don't we just shorten that up and just go, he's the embalmer. He's Steve Embalmer. Developers. So anyway, in those old kingdom days, you would write him, you would see his hieroglyphic form was like, I don't know how to translate these, but like feather, square, bird, jackal. Anyway, so people took this stuff super seriously. And by the time the dynastic period rolled around, so what would that have been, about 3100 to 2686-ish BC, Anubis was portrayed as full animal form, like the entire body of a jackal or a dog form, head and body, not just a dude walking around with a head of a dog, which you would often see, but now he's like full on that. And didn't get really into why that changed. But here's the thing. So the reason that the jackal thing even happens, when the dead were buried back then, and I'll read this verbatim, jackals had been strongly associated with cemeteries because they were scavengers, which uncovered human bodies and ate their flesh. In the spirit of fighting like with like, a jackal was chosen to protect the dead, because a common problem and cause of concern must have been the digging up of bodies shortly after burial by jackals and other wild dogs which lived on the margins of cultivation. Unquote. Anyway, there are a number of gods of the dead. He's the most important. So after reading all this, I've come to believe... There's more thunder. I've come to believe he's more cool than I thought. I think he's kind of a badass. And Anubis, some of that stuff leaked over into Greek mythology. This is the stuff that blows my mind. So if you look at man, that's getting louder. You look at Greek... Oh, that's a plane, that's why. Picked a bad night to fly, dude. There's a lot of crossover, like Greeks and Roman god stuff. I mean, Jupiter's basically Zeus, right? And don't we have like 2 Apollos in that mess or something like that? I can't remember, but there's a lot of crossover between those two. And some of that stuff leaked over from Egypt as well, especially into the Greek pantheon of stuff. I just think that's interesting. There's a whole story about Let's see, where is it? Can I find it here? I copied out a bunch of crap that I thought was interesting. And now I can't find it. It's something to do with Anubis and Osiris. And her having a baby and Anubis. Let's see. Oh, did she have Anubis? I can't find what I wrote down. There was a whole thing with that. That was interesting. Anyway, but in the polemic, I don't think I'm saying that right, period. This is like way later, 350 to 30 BC. All of Egypt became ruled by Greek pharaohs. That's crazy to me. Greek pharaohs. And Anubis was merged with the Greek god Hermes. So here's an example of the merging. He became Hermanubis. I love that name. Hermanubis. Hermes and Anubis. Hermanubis. That seems like something I would do. I feel like I'm an ancient Egyptian at heart. Anyway, they were similar, right? They both had the job. You had to get the people to hell or to heaven or to the afterlife. You had to guide the souls. And let's see here. So worship of this god continued in Rome until at least the 2nd century. Hermanubis also appears in the alchemical and hermetical literature of the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. So that thing stuck around, dude. Anyway, here's one thing I really liked. I pulled this out. So Anubis was sometimes associated with Sirius in the heavens and Cerberus and Hades in the underworld. So in his dialogue stuff that he used to write, Plato often has Socrates utter oaths, like you would say, "I swear on my mother's grave," or "I swear to God," or whatever we say today. "I swear on my mother's life," that kind of thing. He would say, he would utter oaths by the dog, or sometimes by the dog of Egypt, or by the dog, the god of Egyptians. Anyway, the whole idea was he was the arbiter. Anubis was the arbiter of truth. Therefore, later, Hermanubis, same deal. But you would swear by him. And I want to bring that back. I want to start saying, I want Kim to say, did you take the garbage out? I did. Are you sure? And I'll say, I swear by the dog. I did it. See, the problem with that is we have dogs here, and I don't want to swear by them. So I'm going to say, I swear by the dog of Egypt that I took the trash out. Okay, but what about the dishes? Did you do the dishes like I asked? I swear by the god of Egypt, by the dog, the god of Egyptians, that I took that trash out and that it's ready to be picked up and gone. Well, anyway. Oh, that's what the deal was. There's this Osiris myth, okay? So Anubis helps his Isis embalm Osiris. That's what it was. But then there was something about maybe there was a dude disguised as Anubis wearing like a dog head, and it wasn't him. Anyway, there's a whole thing with that. We don't have to get into that. But anyway, this whole weighing of hearts thing, this is really interesting. So whether or not they were worthy of entering the realm of the dead, the underworld known as Duat, I don't know if you say it that way, by weighing the heart of a deceased person, and they would do that against Mahat, which is like often just shown as like ostrich feathers or something. Anyway, he would dictate the fate of that soul based on the weight of the heart. So souls heavier than a feather would be devoured by a mit, and souls lighter than a feather would ascend to a heavenly existence. So if you had a big old fatty heart, you were screwed. If you had a nice light one, it's raining. Hopefully this mic doesn't get borked. You would go straight to their version of hell. Anyway, I guess that's about all I have about that. I just find it fascinating. I like this stuff, like reading about it. Mythology rules, man. And you see Anubis in like books and movies and television and stuff. He's represented a lot, maybe as much or more than some of these other guys. But you never hear them called Anubis, do you? Freaking Anubis. That'll do it for me. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being there. Thanks for being awesome. Keep sending your feedback. Send me your emails. I've been telling people Scott at frogpants.com. It works most of the time, but some people get blocked for some reason, and I can't figure that out. I'm working with my provider to figure out what the deal is. I don't know what that is. But for now, you can also use my a Gmail account. Which one do I prefer? Do scott.internet@gmail.com. That's right, scott.internet@gmail.com. Don't forget the dot before the internet. Okay? All right. That's going to do it for me. Sorry for the mishmash of this one tonight, but I just, I gotta do these. Oh, shit. Something pooped on me just now. Freaking bird, dude. Gross. Well, caught that on tape. Oh! Hi, Ripley. What do you want? Oh, the dogs are here, and it's raining now. It's Carter. Carter, come here and say something.
What am I saying?
What's your favorite Egyptian god?
I like Set.
Did you know that Anubis was combined with the Greek god Hermes?
I also like Anubis.
And he's called Hermanubis?
Hermanubis boobies.
That's true.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. That's
When?
this thing I learned. It was
How?
like right before AD, so it would have been
raining.
right up until about 30 AD or BC. It is raining. I'm leaving now. All right, that's the end of that. Thanks, everybody. Be good. Be nice. Do it all twice. We'll see you next time. Bye.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Yes. Get more at frogpants.com.